Let's make history. Did a video the other day about a headless torso being found in Highbridge, which is a neighborhood in the southwest Bronx, right there by Yankee Stadium. Turns out the person who hacked up the body and put it in the blue bin, which was caught on surveillance camera, was a guy from Harlem who had served 20 years in Sing Sing with the victim. They had a beef in there, and it spilled out onto the street.
Making arrests after a human torso and foot were found inside a building in the Bronx.
The suspect has been identified as Sheldon Johnson, a criminal justice activist who previously served time in prison.
48-year-old Sheldon Johnson of Harlem is charged with murder and concealment of a human corpse.
But this guy had a good job working as a defendant advocate, an advocate for people who were getting arrested and charged with crimes. He was even featured on Joe Rogan's podcast, the biggest podcast ever in history, and still is now.
This is Johnson recently on Joe Rogan's podcast, talking about how he had turned his life around. He was working with troubled youth.
I got into school, I got my GED. From there, I got involved in correspondence courses. I started interacting with guys who were teaching ART, aggression replacement training, and I started to begin to understand how these concepts work, what positive visualization is, deep breathing, how to remove yourself, conflict resolution.
Investigators also found the victim's head, legs, and arms in Johnson's freezer in his apartment building in Harlem.
The tenant of the apartment, he came in. He never came out. So I called police because it's suspicious.
The super providing me with these surveillance pictures inside the building that allegedly show Johnson carrying bags in and out of the apartment building the day of the murder and changing his clothes several times, as well as wearing disguises.
Then turns out his son was arrested for violently attacking an innocent Columbia University student. The student ran into traffic trying to get away, was hit by a car, and actually died.